Well, if you've been in the grocery store in the last few years, you have definitely noticed how expensive everything has become. It is getting to be almost impossible to eat the foods you used to eat, that you're used to eating, that you enjoy eating. And what people have been doing has been shifting to, I almost tripped on a line. They've been shifting to more processed, cheaper foods, ready to eat meals. And that has contributed a lot to weight gain. So what is causing all these price increases? Well, for one thing, they're saying not enough farmers are are raising enough cattle, so you have a supply shortage. That's what they're saying as I look at a big herd of cattle in front of me. Also, fuel prices, transportation problems, labor shortages. Now, I believe that they can't get workers. But as far as meat goes and all that, that's what they're using a lot of these immigrants for. Because you can't get the white people to work in those chicken plants and places like that, pork processing. They don't want those jobs. They're horrible jobs. And they're low-paying jobs. So you get the immigration population to work for that. Well, we don't need to talk about any of that right now. Also, you've got these companies, and now Walmart is a really good example. They want to offer you the lowest price, right? But they're not willing to take a loss on profit. And we're right now, and I am a carnivore, so all I eat is meat and eggs. And right now, I have seen Walmart increase their prices so much, I quit going there. I don't buy a lot of meat there at Walmart anyway, but I have compared prices. And it's just crazy. My local grocery store used to be the highest, and I would never buy meat there. Now it's lower. It's almost, it's almost as low as Aldi's. Now I do go to Aldi's when I can, but it's 70 miles one way, So, and the last few times I've went, they're inconsistent. They don't have what I'm looking for, and I have to settle for something else, which I am living on a very basic diet. Okay, I don't change it up very much, but it has gotten to the point where I'm going to have to just start making the drive and doing that, because you can save there, especially on things like butter, cheese. They are lower, a little bit lower on eggs, but the problem has been with the eggs. I get there and I like to go out early in the morning and get there right when they open, and grocery stores used to stock overnight. They'd have a crew that would come in, they would stock overnight. Well, none of them do that anymore. They stock during their opening hours, which is a pain because you got to work around them when you're shopping, and they don't always have the eggs out. And the last few times I went, they didn't have any eggs. So I kind of got mad and quit going. But getting back to why, none of these companies are willing to give up their profits. So on top of whatever their increases are, they're increasing it to maintain the same level of profit. And yeah, they have to make a profit, but when times are like this, they also, if they want to maintain customer base, they're going to have to take a loss on something. I would say take a loss on the food and raise the price on other things, more luxury items that people are buying. But I don't run those companies, and so I have no control over that. Sorry if it gets dark and different shades of light in here. I'm walking through the woods. I have got to get out here and weed eat, so I got more of my trails available. They're all overgrown, and who knows what's living in there. Also, what affects a lot of the food is global events. Okay, wars, weather. Well, we'll just include weather with global events. But the weather plays a big role. Now, with, you know, like Ukraine, that was one of the biggest places for wheat production. I don't know what they grew over there, but we use it stuff to make bread. And, you know, was it wheat? I don't know. I should have just checked into that before I did the video. But you understand. I mean, that's Ukraine is nothing but a huge farm. Is basically it is what it was, and it isn't no more. So that's something to consider. I wrote them down there. So that leads to people not eating meat, not eating the things they used to eat, and buying more of these processed foods that are cheap. The cheap frozen pizzas, the little TV dinners and things like that. Things you can buy. When I go to my local grocery store, and this is a poorer community, they just wipe the frozen pizza section out at the first of the month. It is wiped out. The chips aisle, wiped out. All the low-cost foods, wiped out. They're living on Kraft macaroni and cheese and things like that. And that has contributed to weight gain. Now, this isn't one of my carnivore videos, but kind of opens your eyes to why a lot of people are putting on a lot of extra weight. Now is not the time to be having a family. It's not the time to be having more kids. Things are just, and the ones that are doing this, they can't afford to feed the ones they have. So that's leading to a lot of families buying things like pasta, you know, making a big spaghetti dinner, which is very fattening. I know there's been several times, I mean, up until about 2 years ago, it was very hard for me, just for me, to eat to have enough groceries to last a week. And there would be many times I would buy spaghetti or macaroni noodles and just mix butter in with it. And that's what I ate, man. Put a little Parmesan cheese sprinkled on there and some spices, and that's what I ate for several days at a time. So I know how it is. And that contributed to me ballooning up past 300 pounds over the last 10 years. Because when I first came here, I was about 217, you know. And then once I got hurt, I couldn't really work those kind of jobs anymore and started eating that garbage food. And just, there's so much of it that we don't even realize what's in it that's contributing to weight gain. I got to just stop, right? Just stop, Mike. But it's terrible. And I don't know what the answer is. They don't give farmers or ranchers incentives to produce cattle. The cost to raise cattle is crazy. And so by the time they go to market with it, they take the cattle to auction, they're not making a lot. So you can't blame them for stopping. This area is known for raising chickens. And you can still get chicken fairly inexpensive. And I just despise it. I cannot eat chicken anymore. I didn't mind it when I was younger. I've never been crazy about chicken. I don't care how you cook it, fried, baked. I've never been crazy about it. And now I hate it even worse. And I never have chicken in my diet. I've tried to eat it several different ways here recently, and it all tastes like garbage. That could be that chicken isn't what chicken used to be, and we know that it isn't. It's full of antibiotics and everything else. These chickens are rushed through. They just don't have any flavor. Not unless you raise your own. And that brings that into play. Raising your own chickens, okay? If you have a big family, yes, it's probably smart to do that. You know how to process them and all that. You got the eggs. But for a guy like me, I'm not going to have the expense of feeding chickens. I got these chickens here. They're just, they're old hens. They're almost 15 years old. This particular breed, they live a long time. These are jungle birds. These are game hens. And well, they are 15 because he gave them to me when they were 10 years old. He takes them out of the breeding process, and then he takes care of them. But he asked me if I wanted these, took them home, and here they are. This is what a 15-year-old hen looks like. Yeah, right there. And these hens still look very healthy. These guys will probably live another 3-4 years, who knows. He had roosters that were 17, 18 years old, this breed. They do live a long time. They have a uneventful, happy life here. So I buy a bag of scratch and I buy a bag of 20% egg pellets about once a month. Probably a little more than that. A little less than that, probably about every 6 weeks. But I also, as you can see, I throw a scoop to them, and then I throw a scoop out here for these wild birds who are hanging out, waiting. You get all kinds of birds here. But for me, it's not, you know, I could probably go get a bunch of meat birds, raise them. But that's just me. You know, if I had a family, I would definitely be doing that. I'd be raising hogs and who knows what else. But not everybody can do that. Okay, not everybody has a rural property, and it's you can't raise chickens in a city neighborhood. You just can't. So you're forced to pay those prices. Egg prices have came down, but they're still not where they need to be. But you know, it's very expensive being carnivore right now. But it really isn't, because I am not going in there buying all the other ingredients that you would normally buy to make a batch of spaghetti or to make a stew. I don't buy all those things. I go directly to the meat, directly to the dairy, and that's it. And the only dairy I eat is once in a while, if I have fish, which I'm not a big fan of fish either, but I got to force myself to eat it sometimes. I might make some homemade tartar sauce with some sour cream and a little bit of, what do they call that, relish. Yeah, you're not supposed to eat that, but you know what? I've lost over 100 pounds. I'm going to eat whatever the hell I want. I don't need somebody making a video going, you can't eat that. Hey, if I'm still losing weight, I'm going to eat it, right? That's right. And then I drink my coffee. I'm not giving up coffee for no kind of diet or lifestyle. I'm going to have my coffee. So I don't think prices are ever going to go down. So don't think that's going to happen, because they still want their profits. It's terrible. Walmart is the worst offender. But the problem is they're shutting out. There's no more mom and pop businesses. You can't go to a deli, at least not anywhere in, rural. Maybe if you're in New York City, you got those delis and stuff still. But look how many people you got. We don't have stuff like that here. We are forced to go to Walmarts and places like that, the big box stores, because that's all there is. You can't go to my local town, downtown. There's nothing in there. You know what's in there? And this is all the way across America, small towns. They open thrift stores, junk stores. That's all if there is a business in one of those downtown old stores, it's a thrift store, a pawn shop, or something that you can't eat. And nobody's opening new restaurants now, not private people. You're gonna get your Taco Bells, your McDonald's, all that garbage food. And even there, you cannot eat out anymore for less than $20. And it's been probably 2 years since I've eaten in a restaurant. Well, I've met my parents twice, but other than that, I don't just get in my truck and go to a restaurant. I eat at home, and I am not going to pay the prices they are charging. It's crazy. So this wasn't a very well structured video, guys. Just on here letting you know that I feel the pinch too, but I can imagine what a family of 4 or 5 has to pay for groceries, because I'm paying probably $600-700 a month. That's just for me, but I'm buying steaks, burger, a lot of things like that, and it does cost more money. What the hell do we got here? Got a rat in there, and he's brave. Those chickens will kill that rat. I can't believe they just sat there and watched him. I see him. You guys see him right there? Look at him. He's behind that door. Oh, it's a constant battle with those pack rats out here. I gotta get him. I got a little trap all set. We'll get him. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. Happy trails.